Hey everyone, this is Teresa Hegel, Executive Editor of Special Projects and Sustainability at ASI.
And this is Cassie Green, Content Director of Apparelist and Editor at Printing United Alliance. And you're listening to Branding Together, a new adventure into the converging worlds of print and promo.
We're here to bring you an engaging monthly discussion that dissects just how closely each of these industries align. Whether you're a promotional products distributor, commercial printer, apparel decorator, or a little bit of everything, our topics and guests will bring the ultimate crossover conversation.
When you're ready to bring your business to the next level, get lost in this month's episode, which is set to happen in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to the November episode of Branding Together. I'm Teresa Hegel with ASI, and I'm joined by Cassie Green of Apparelist and Printing United Alliance. We are both kind of straight back from Printing United Expo, so I think we got some rest, but we're still a little frazzled. So if this episode is as kooky as our one from the show floor, I apologize, but I think that we're kind of getting back into the swing of things. But today we have a really great interview lined up with Lauren Davis and Sean Doherty of Box Genie. We're going to be talking about packaging, how it can elevate branded merch and apparel, and just kind of why it's a cool thing that you need to focus on. But first, why don't we get to some of our industry headlines? Cassie, do you want to start?
Sure. And yeah, I can't believe Expo happened in such a whirlwind that I still feel like I am trying to come off of that high. So yes, Teresa, I think you and I probably have some similar headlines surrounding the Expo to share. But the specific one I wanted to highlight is something that we released as breaking news on Friday after the show floor officially closed and everything was wrapped up, and that is that Printing United Expo 2025 delivered record-breaking numbers of attendees and exhibitors. So pretty exciting news. So we concluded on October 24th at the Orange County Convention Center. This year's show welcomed over 30,000 registered attendees from 104 countries, with 838 exhibitors showcasing all of their technology. So obviously we don't have, the exact final numbers yet, right? It's a little soon still as we're recording this episode, but to see us crest that 30,000 registered attendee mark was pretty satisfying.
I bet.
A little selfish.
Yeah. And I think that, I feel like I walked past at least 25,000 of them on some of these days. It was quite packed. But what I think that during Media Day, didn't you guys say that last year you guys were like the 37th largest trade show? Is that correct?
I can't remember the exact
or 35th maybe. It was something, it was pretty high up there. And you guys have a huge show.
Right. And that's in like all industries. So that's it going up against these behemoth shows like SEMA and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I think I was very, very impressed. My eyes were like, saucers the whole time. Especially I was looking at some of these like giant like printers. I was like,
I know.
What is happening?
Yeah, you go to the commercial space and you're like, this thing is bigger than in my living room.
Totally. So my first headline is also from Printing United Expo. I just wanted to share, we had we taught a couple of ASI taught a couple of like great classes at the show, but my colleague Brendan Menapace did a panel with a bunch of printers who were sharing their promo success stories. And it was a really great panel that kind of gave you some practical advice on what to expect if you go from printing into promo. And why it's a good idea. Like, for instance, somebody was saying that, it's great for marketing and social media because, promo looks cool. Like, you can kind of have a fan blowing in your face, and it has, like, as he called it, the whiz-bang factor. You can't, and for, like, doing specials and trying to market to people, you're not going to convince someone to buy envelopes, for example, until they need them. However, you could do some kind of fun special on like umbrellas before hurricane season. So it helps you diversify, helps you, come to your customers in a new way. So I really think that story had a lot of good practical advice for printers who might be curious about promo after attending the show or just after watching our episodes and thinking like, what is this whole promo thing about?
Yeah, and it really like drives home what you and I have been preaching all year long, and that there's this huge convergence happening in the industry. It just, again, spotlights that whole topic. I'm kind of bummed I missed his session.
Well, read the story and you'll get a lot of the highlights.
There you go.
All right. I have one more piece of news, but how about you? What do you have as well?
Yes. I have one more, and I'm talking about this because it was huge breaking news, like right as Expo was about to open. This was during Media Day last week when we helped announce this news, but it's Inktovo and Order My Gear announcing their merger. So this is something, so Teresa and I recorded a mini episode of Branding Together on the Expo show floor, and it was about mergers and acquisitions. This obviously is a hot topic in the industry right now, but in case you missed this specific headline, Inktovo, which is the company behind Inksoft, Printavo, Graphics Flow, Sign Tracker, and Clarity Software, and Order My Gear, also known as OMG for those of you in the promo space. They announced a merger, and then with that, Inktovo said it's going to extend its reach across new verticals while offering current OMG customers access to the company's broader suite of tools. So it's just more M&A activity that, Teresa and I both firmly see having impacts in reshaping the way our industry behaves in a lot of different ways. And you'll have to listen to our mini episode to get a little more insight on thoughts there. But yeah, I just thought in case people missed that huge announcement.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe people have already listened to it. Our loyal followers have perhaps already, watched or listened to the mini episode. But if not, go back to the archives and find it. So my last piece of news is that we at ASI recently released our Power 50 list of the most influential people in the promo industry. Top of the list this year, Jeremy Lott of Sanmar, which I think makes sense because they've kind of been crushing it with everything they're doing. And he's been on the top of the list before, but he kind of fell down a few spots the last couple of years, but now he's back on top. But it's really like, it's a great list just to sort of see who are the movers and shakers in the industry, who's moving up, who's moving down. And it's something that we, the editors work on this, but we also look at the influence they have among other people in the Power 50 and also among the general population of kind of ASI members. So, I don't know, it's somewhat scientific, I guess. But yeah, we're looking at many, many factors. It's not just some random list of who we think is cool. We're looking at, how other people rank them in terms of their influence. So it's definitely worth checking out.
It's a spectacular list, honestly. I went through it and so many big names there. And you're right, the movers and shakers of the industry.
And the one thing that I think is cool is that we have an artist who will do these cool drawings of each of the members. So it's not like photos. It looks like the Wall Street Journal or something where they have those columnist headshots turned into line drawings. So I just feel like that elevates the whole thing.
They're very cool, very hip and eye-catching.
Awesome. Okay, well, before we go into the interview today, I wanted to just have a little discussion, just kind of recapping some of the highlights from the expo since it's still so fresh in our minds. So Cassie, what would you say was the coolest thing that you saw at the show, or the best event, or what was your top pick?
Man, this is such a loaded question because there were.
You can't just say the apparel zone.
I know. Well, right, and it's so easy to just broadly sweep through, and to pick a coolest thing is near impossible because, as we both said, Teresa, there was so much to see and do. It was mind-boggling. So forgive me, I'm not going to pick just one. I have a couple in mind. So the first really cool thing that I saw was the AI pavilion. And again, I know that's kind of broad, but here's why I picked it. It was packed. You could almost not navigate through this area of the show floor. And regardless of how you might feel personally about AI, it just demonstrated the massive engagement and interest in the industry. It's one thing to sit there and be like, oh yeah, we should use AI, or yeah, we're kind of using it, and we report that we're maybe thinking about implementing it in our business. But it's another thing to see people make it a point to sit in on an AI session or to ask questions of the AI experts that were featured in that area, or to like actually make the leap and find the tools that they were going to bring back to their business after the expo. And I think that really demonstrated not just about AI, but really demonstrated the need and thirst for technology that people were looking for at the expo. So that was my number one. And then my number two is I posted this on LinkedIn. One of my really favorite personal moments that happened at the expo is it was the very last session at the Apparelist Live Theater. We had done a panel, and it was like a solid 10 minutes after the panel had wrapped up with the three panelists that I was moderating the conversation. They were still talking to people who were in the audience. They were still like answering questions. They were still offering advice. They were still having a discussion with multiple people in the audience, even though the session had wrapped up. And to me, it's those little moments that really elevate the show, because it shows just how serious people are about their businesses and just how serious they are about helping others.
Yeah.
Which I think is so powerful.
I love that. And yeah, it does totally exemplify just everything I think about the print and promo industry, because it is so collaborative. You know, I know people are competitors, but they're still willing to help each other, and they want everyone to kind of be able to succeed. And, you know, there's no better like example of that than people answering questions for, you know, longer than they even need to be there. Obviously they agreed to do the panel, but if they're still there answering questions from 10 minutes or longer afterwards, like that's great. I love that.
What about you? Because you probably saw it from a completely different perspective.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, I think some of the coolest things I saw were stuff that we don't really cover often because it's not necessarily promo, but I was just so impressed with these giant, like, wide format printers for signage. I couldn't believe how huge they were. One thing that I thought, maybe I'm just impressed with big things that are big, because I also saw this, I think the company's called Massivit, but they do like these really, really large 3D printed objects, and it was like a perfume bottle that was like 4 feet high. It had a lot of really cool potential for like experiential events, like pop-ups at, you know, retail stores or whatnot. But you could really, I love the idea of like kind of pairing like signage and with this like 3D object that really catches the eye. So I thought that was really cool. And I think there's some, you know, use in promo as far as people kind of putting together that whole one-stop shop experience, like providing all the signage and the giveaways and things like that. So I think it was very interesting. My other favorite part was actually the Women in Print Alliance networking event. I really thought that was well done. I met a lot of really cool people, and it was a nice kind of low-key, welcoming environment. I'm not the best networker. I don't love networking, but I did talk to a bunch of people, had some great conversations, and I really felt like it was a productive use of my time. So I think that you guys really were able to welcome people with that event, and I really liked it.
The Women in Print Alliance group, man, they're all rock stars. I mean, Lisbeth Lyons heads up that segment, and man, does she put together a strong group and presence for sure. So.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So as far as like, so this show is done, but I'm sure you guys are already kind of thinking about next year, right? I think we all are, because it's exciting for us because ASI has the ASI Pavilion next year, so there'll be the show within a show. And I'm sure you guys will have many other like amazing things lined up. But like, what do you like? How can we already start preparing? How can like the print and promo people, how can they prepare for next year?
Yeah. I mean, and I am so glad you brought that up, because I'm really excited about the ASI Pavilion. This could be such an experience, Teresa. I can't wait to see how like it operates. That we keep calling it show within a show. It's going to be so cool, and just the experiential convergence between the print and promo industry. Watching it come to life next year is going to be one of the highlights. From my perspective, best ways to prepare for next year's expo is just keep an eye on that sort of thing, right? Is what else, right? Because that was kind of the huge question this year is what else? What else is out there? What else can I be doing like you mentioned, the wide format printers and the commercial printers. And we're just seeing more and more people. I mean, there were laser engravers there. There was sand carving there for anyone who's curious about that. Like, what a crazy technology, but so cool. I think we have to continue to push. We all know 25 was rough in a lot of ways, but I think the expo really highlighted that when things get rough, people put on their work shoes and they come ready to fight. And I think 2026 is going to be the year of let's go. We are going to do better. We are going to have better businesses. And so for me, it's get ready to explore what's next and what's new and keep pushing.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think for people who are going to be looking forward to the show next year, if they just, keep up with our newsletters and our websites and our magazines, you'll get kind of a heads up of what's going to be there. You'll get yourself prepared to go to the show and know kind of where you want to, because you can't, like, the show is too big to be able to do everything, and that's not what it's about. But if you plan ahead and kind of keep up with our news, you'll know sort of where you want to kind of focus your attention, and you'll be able to make a good plan.
That's so smart. Yep. Stay engaged.
Yeah.
Stay clued in. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts about this year's show that you want to highlight?
Just thanks to everybody who came. Thanks to everybody for supporting us. I'm on cloud nine, and our whole team is on cloud nine about this. All of the alliance is just can't stop smiling. It's awesome to see the industry come together this way. It just is. And seeing everybody so engaged and positive and ready to go, there's a feeling. It's just too hard to describe.
Yeah.
So big thanks to the whole industry for engaging and supporting.
There was a lot of energy at this year's show. I mean, I say that I haven't been to any of the other shows, but I could tell that this one was particularly energy filled.
It was. So yeah, and thanks. I'm just happy I got to see you again.
It's the third time this year, I think, which is crazy.
How lucky are we?
Very awesome. All right. Well, I think that was a great discussion of Printing United Expo, but now it is time to welcome our guests. Today we are talking with Lauren Davis and Sean Doherty of the promo supplier Box Genie, which specializes in custom branded boxes and packaging.
Want to level up your skills or empower your workforce? Meet iLearning Plus, the online education platform from our parent organization, Printing United Alliance. iLearning Plus helps print professionals sharpen their expertise and grow their careers. Check out apparel decoration courses such as Screen Printing Basics for Apparel or DTF DTG Printing Technology Essentials. Alliance members always save 20% on all courses and certifications. You can enroll today and learn more at ilearningplus.org.
Welcome, Lauren and Sean of Box Genie. We're so happy to have you with us today. I just wanted to start out, can you tell us a little bit about Box Genie and how custom packaging has been growing in the promo industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with Box Genie. Box Genie specializes in custom corrugated packaging, and we really focus on creating high-end boxes. All of our boxes are produced in Kansas City, Missouri, and we try to elevate brand experiences. We really lead the industry in quick production turn times of 10 to 12 business days, and we recently launched a new mobile-friendly designer in order to open access to more brands and professionals on the go to be able to preview and design their packaging from everywhere. How we fit in the promo industry is, well, really custom packaging has exploded into the promo industry in recent years. Brands seek that deeper emotional connection with customers. If you remember, a lot of major brands used to focus on retail shelving and getting space in retailers, and now packaging has really become that storytelling tool. Promo companies also rely on our packaging, not just for that impact, but for protection as well. And that unboxing experience is now that first interaction that brands many times have with their customers. So we've just continued to see packaging in the promo industry continue just to grow over the past 2, 3, 4 years, which has been great. Very exciting. In fact, we attended ASI for the first time this past year in Chicago and really got to know and work with a lot of our customers face to face, which was great.
That's awesome. Lauren, did you have anything you wanted to add about Box Genie or just packaging in general?
I'd say just Bakshini is really known for our hands-on customer experience, and I feel like that's why a lot of customers switch from other providers to us. Our team's located down in Kansas City, Missouri, so when we get your project in hands, it stays with our team, and they can even go out onto the production floor and check for that project, make sure everything's set up for success, and really keep the customer informed, which is pretty rare in our industry, and it's a breath of fresh air for most of our customers.
Just
It really
a
is.
fun fact about our our space in Kansas City too, because it'd be remiss not to talk about this, but we're actually located underground in caves. So Kansas City has some of the largest underground. We're in an area called the Subtropolis. So if you ever get a chance, it's certainly worth a search.
That sounds kind of like freaky. I don't know, like it's like a Batman thing.
It's like the cave walls behind you are real. They are limestone, legitimate cave walls.
That's interesting.
I feel like Teresa and I may need to make a visit over there just to see it first.
Absolutely, we love the host. So anytime.
I didn't know you had to go spelunking though to get your.
They have 5 and 10
offices.
Ks down there. It's quite the it's really quite the experience. So anytime you're in Kansas City, give us a holler and we'll make sure we do a tour.
Crazy. Well, Sean, I wanted to actually return a little bit to something you had said kind of when we first started talking, and that's talking about the emotional impact that packaging can have. And perhaps maybe you can start, and then Lauren, obviously feel free to chime in. But talking about the emotional impact that a well-designed unboxing experience can have, how does that really create the wow factor for the end user, for the recipients?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, unboxing is no longer just a moment. It's a memory now. And the ability to customize that box to exactly fit your vision is more than just opening a brown box. A thoughtfully designed box can evoke excitement, curiosity, and delight. You're able to really integrate vibrant artwork, carry that artwork through both the exterior of the box, the interior of the box, and even the perfect custom inserts that can further highlight your brand's products. I think all of those details contribute to the wow factor because it's, again, the first physical touch point your brand's going to have with your customers, whether it's their first order or it's a subscription box, whatever the case may be. They're constantly interacting with your brand through that unboxing experience, and being able to add all of those details turns fans into advocates into people there then turning to social media to spread that excitement about your brand. So it gives you that level of detail, allows you to reach not just your customers, but reach other prospects as well through that unboxing experience.
Lauren, did you want to add anything to that? I mean, that's really insightful.
Yeah, I would just say from an unboxing experience, having those branding details and making it very brand forward makes the experience not only just like a wow factor, but it almost feels a little bit like an exclusive VIP experience. So then that person unboxing is much more likely to, like Sean mentioned, go ahead and share that unboxing, whether it's through a video or a reel on their Instagram, their TikToks, and that really gets that organic spread across that channel. And then more and more individuals are likely to go check out that brand's website, do some research, maybe even add to cart, and then become an advocate themselves. So there's a lot of power in just looking at all those little details that make all the difference, where you really feel like a VIP and not just somebody receiving something in the mail.
Right. Well, I mean, like, speaking of like the details, I think that, obviously adding the custom packaging, adding that to the experience, that adds more moving parts, but you're trying to kind of have brand consistency throughout the whole like experience. So what are some of the like best practices you guys have for kind of maintaining the consistency across like the touch points, making sure that the promo and the box and everything is telling the same brand story?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you nailed it, right? Consistency is key. Absolutely. And that's one thing we focus on. So in our processes of working with our customers, we work with them on the design. We're always giving tips and tricks as to what's going to work well, what's going to print well, how to pair colors together. And then we're looking at the production run to make sure we're optimizing the right equipment. We have multiple digital printers as well as flexo, flatbed, die cutters, laser cutters. So we're really looking and working with our customers from the design process all the way through to production. And then we're also asking them many times, especially in the case where we're getting their product because we're building a custom insert, we're asking them, what's the use case of this? How's it going in the mail? Are you using outer packaging? all of those things. So throughout the design process, the production process, we're asking the right questions to try to get that right end result for them, as we do know, a lot about packaging and obviously a lot about our production process. So we're giving them that information to create the perfect design box. And then also, how can they make it pop? So we're always suggesting to use custom inserts so your products can be visual and have that next level unboxing experience. And we're also kind of, again, if we know it's a playful box or it's a subscription box for, kids science experiment, we're making sure A, things are also protected so that they don't break and they're visually appealing. But B, we're kind of helping them play off their product and the design to make sure it all fits and it's cohesive. So it's really that just customer focus that we have throughout the process, and making sure that the box ties to their campaigns, to their brand, to their vision. Right. And again, every touch point should feel like it's part of the same story. So that's key. And that's why we like to know as much about what's going in that box as possible so that we can be aware and then help work with our customers throughout the process.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so for distributors who want to kind of add custom packaging, the best thing to do would be to really consult with a company like yours and ask, or, you guys would ask questions, but they can, whatever they can share would really help you guys do your jobs better and create something that's more cohesive.
Absolutely. And that's why a lot of times when we're working with brands, we actually say, okay, what's this project for? And send us your contents of the box. Or if you have visions of how you want it laid out, take pictures of it. Is there anything that's fragile? All of those details. In fact, one of the things, one of the probably due for replenishment soon, but we have these little tape measures that we share with our clients, because it's a lot of times they don't even know where to start. And we're like, well, if you know what's going in the box, lay it out as you see and get a measurement. And that's a starting point. Right. But it's much information as our clients are willing and able to share with us, the better impact we can have on making sure it's cohesive through the entire process.
Yeah. Lauren, did you have anything to add about just what kind of things?
So I would just say, we appreciate the adage, think outside the box, obviously, but also think from the inside out. So you can add your logos, whatever messaging you want, to any single panel of our boxes. And that's great for, that visual from outside of the box before you open it up. But you can also add that custom print completely to the inside too. So if you want to add a catchy logo or a slogan or make it more of a surprise, you can certainly do those things on the inside of the box. And I think that's really key because you're bringing in those complementary colors, your typography, really the things that make your brand, versus just having it on the outside. So it makes the product really shine and complement the whole story in the unboxing there too.
I was just thinking of personal unboxing experiences when I order something and I open it, if they have really cool custom even tissue paper, something as simple as tissue paper customized to tell the brand story, I love that as a consumer. So.
Yeah, those little details make all the difference.
Right. So something that Teresa and I are both very passionate about is this topic of sustainability. You might have heard this little buzzword in the industry, but it's something that's very important to both of us personally, and I think it's something that's very important to a lot of people in this industry. So, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel that promo professionals can address eco-friendly packaging without sacrificing those things we just talked about, without sacrificing this beautiful visual appeal and the engagement and all of those things you guys just talked about that make a brand impactful?
Yeah, so we get asked a lot, do you have custom or standards, we get asked a lot, do you have standard sizes at Box Genie? We don't have stock sizes. We do everything custom fit. So we're actually sizing that box directly to the layout that you want and also the size of the product. So that's really key because you're reducing the amount of material use, and then you're actually having a positive impact on shipping too. So we're not overstuffing boxes. We're not using one set size to try and fit 5 different products or 2 different products. That's really key within our values. And then we are also using recycled material within that corrugate too. So know that the corrugate that we're sourcing has that recycled element to it, and then is also fully recyclable.
Sean, any additional thoughts you might have?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lauren really probably touched on all the major touch points. Again, our boxes are 100% recyclable, but also our clients can highlight sustainability efforts on the packaging as well. So if they have a message around sustainability or anything, the use of QR codes or just what they're doing with that, or if they want to, kind of tell their customers that same story, they have the opportunity to do so because the packaging is customized, as Lauren said, 100% to fit their needs. So I think that's a story that they're able to tell as well. We also do use quite a bit of software when we're actually during the production process so that we're minimizing waste. And to Lauren's point about using, it's custom packaging, so everything's sized appropriately, but we're also ordering custom sheets, and that ability to order custom sheets along with our software ganging boxes together, strategically laid out, also minimizes waste throughout the process as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that point of it being these custom sized boxes that kind of fit what is being sent is really powerful, because how often, they don't do it quite as much anymore, but like when you used to get these Amazon boxes that were gigantic and it had like one tiny thing in it, and you're like, what is happening here? It's just looks so wasteful, is wasteful, and it's just like not the right message. So to be able to kind of build the packaging around what is being sent just makes a lot of sense. So I'd love to hear some case studies you guys might have of like how customers have been using custom boxes to elevate the branding experience. Are there any like kind of specific stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, actually, there was one that came to mind when I saw this question, and we do have a number of different, kind of logos and people we've worked with on our site as well. But we actually started working with an ASI distributor in 2024. And they actually used our 3D design studio to start experimenting with the box and working with our sales and support team. And they actually wanted to create a box that was going to be used in an in-retail holiday gifting experience. And so we kind of worked with them, obviously incorporating their brand, their client's brand palette and things of that nature. And they were actually successful in selling this program into that retailer. It was actually a big hit, and they were able to expand that concept and actually pitch it to other retailers this year. And along the way, they had numerous other packaging needs as well. So we're now we've closely partnered with them for all of their custom boxing needs, as well as seeing this program really expand for them, which is exciting. So we love to see our clients grow as well. And it's just a great example of somebody that, we met within this ASI world. We have a number of people obviously we work with here, but that was just one example that was so much fun to kind of see that initial vision and their initial pitch, and that work out successfully for them, and then for us to be able to build kind of our relationship together and see that roll out to additional retailers this year too. So very cool experience.
Yeah, the power of collaboration is really great.
Really key. And just to jump into we can do a minimum of 100 box units completely custom. Typically, we see that with some of our smaller customers where they're just getting started, or they want to experiment with either a different product, or they have a very small client need. With this particular customer, we went kind of the opposite, where we were supplying tens of thousands of boxes for that retail experience. And then now they're using us much more closely for those smaller needs for smaller end clients too. At that fast turn time. So that was fun to see, because it's typically the reverse.
Yeah.
So now that we kind of talked a lot about the importance of custom packaging, kind of things that you guys say, consistency, and let's create this engaging experience and things like that. So Lauren, what emerging trends are you seeing in custom packaging? And this could be color, materials, certain personalization techniques, any kind of trend you want to talk about. That our listeners should be paying attention to for the remainder of 2025, but maybe even get ready for 2026?
Oh, that's a tough one. We see a lot, every client's very different. So while I'm in marketing, my brain is not as visual. So I admire really good design, but I would just say personalization is really the key here. So paying attention to those bespoke or very poppy details throughout the unboxing experience that tie back to the larger campaign. And then bringing in more multimedia in it. Sean touched on it earlier, but QR codes, those are becoming more and more popular, leading to specific landing pages or even more of like your surprise elements to it. And then on top of that, reordering too. So if we have a client that wants to encourage reordering within their ecosystem, they can apply just a simple QR code to get that client to reorder as needed, which is a fun element. And then I would say it's a hot topic, but AI. More and more designers are able to use AI to add different elements quickly to their designs. And then that's fun to see. I'll be interested to see what that brings in 2026, but it's definitely the hot topic in terms of everything in 2025.
It really is. You see it everywhere. I mean, Teresa and I were talking about this before we recorded this episode. It's all over the place.
We've actually also built some of that into our design tool as well. So there's actually a template gallery, but also a area where you can just go search, and pulls out from thousands of different images. So if you're just looking to ideate, even within our design tool, we have some of those components built in, but obviously there's much bigger ones out there as well. But we did incorporate some AI into our design tool as well for really those do-it-yourselfers that want to come on and use the editor and get started and start playing around. So we've incorporated some of those as well to get ahead of that trend.
Awesome. Other trends you want to opine on, Sean? Anything you want to add?
I think, again, it's that hyper customization. Print capabilities have become so good. So I think people want to use every inch of that box, really pull those vibrant colors in. Text is so crisp and clean now that we're actually seeing more text come up. And I know Lauren mentioned QR codes, but that level of detail you can get from these printers now, really allow people to explore and utilize every like spare, centimeter of the box. So I think it's about big, bright, vibrant colors and really being able to not shy away from getting your brand messaging out there. Obviously, recycled and sustainability will continue. That's not a trend that's going away. Obviously, we already touched upon that. And I think really just premium finishes. It's not that's not a 25 or 26 trend. I think that's just what brands want and their customers want to see. We have one material in particular that we call our magic white that has this almost clay coat high sheen to it that really elevates an experience. And we're seeing that kind of orders within that space grow, which I just think speaks to that kind of premium finish that people are looking for.
Well, this has been like a really great discussion so far, but anybody who's watched our show, and you guys may not have watched it yet, but we always kind of end on like a fun note. So the final question, I just wanted to sort of play off of the Box Genie name. So if you guys, and I'm going to have both of you answer it, but if you guys encountered an actual genie in real life, what is the one wish you would want granted and why? So Lauren, let's start with you.
It is a fun question. I would say just more accessibility for brands that are just starting off, to understand that they can customize by size and that they don't have to go to like a standard box maker to create just a brown box, that they can still have something craft but fit to their size, and that they have that flexibility, whether they're printing just like a simple black logo on the outside of the box or a nice slogan, or perhaps they're upgrading to something like Sean mentioned, like a magic white for more of like those influencer kits that they're really starting to dig into. I think we live in a world now where we have so many people that are doers and makers, and they have these big visions, but they don't know where to start. And so I think if I could grant one wish, I'd be able to spread that word that they can come to us and create something that's really beautiful that fits their needs.
Awesome. And Sean, of course, this wish doesn't have to be work related. It could be just, something like you want like gold doubloons or something. But what would your genie wish be?
Yeah. When I saw this question, I started laughing because actually I have a 7 and 9-year-old, and just showed them Aladdin for the first time, like in the last 10 days or so. So couldn't get that song, the genie song, like out of my head, and just kind of started chuckling. So I did kind of take this a little bit more work related of, we'd wish for every brand to have access to packaging that reflects their story. I think that power of storytelling is so important. And again, this being that first interaction, we want them to be able to tell their story, because when your box speaks, your product doesn't just arrive, it arrives with, really intention. So I was, and obviously we love working with people on all projects. So I did go more work related. I mean, just for fun, I'd love to see the Knicks get a championship.
Fair.
But we shall see.
I mean, there's always the wish for more wishes thing, but I guess like Aladdin showed us that you can't really do that. So
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 more wishes. There's so many, right? Keep going.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much. I enjoyed that little laugh at the end. But a really a more, serious note, I really enjoyed this topic. It's one that Teresa and I are really excited about and to talk about. So we appreciate you guys joining the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this has been a blast.
All right. Well, that was such a great discussion. I'm so glad we got to talk with Lauren and Sean. But now it is time for our fun final segment. And because it is November, I thought we could sort of, and the season of thankfulness, Thanksgiving, I thought we could sort of say a few things that we're thankful for this year, whether it's personally, professionally, about the podcast or whatnot. So what are you thankful for?
This is hard for me. So people describe me and I describe myself as a perpetual optimist. Sometimes annoyingly so, and I make gratitude a huge focal point. This year I went through some personal stuff with family and a lot of loss this year, and so I've decided I am grateful for all of the past memories that I have had and like experiences that I've been blessed with, like throughout my childhood, with like grandparents and things like that. I'm just grateful I had that moment. And I got to grow up with like grandparents who I got to stay with them for weeks upon weeks during the summer. And I got to go on vacation with them. And I got to, when my grandpa got remarried, I got to play music for his wedding. And those are the things like, I'm just really grateful for those things, so even in loss, like I just feel like I'm just so grateful I even got to have them in my life. And so that's what I'm really focusing on this year.
Yeah, and I think that can be a very powerful way to reframe things, right? Because it is easy, and ununderstandable to really get lost in that loss. Mm-hmm. But the reason you feel it so deeply is because of all those good experiences that you had. Right. So when you can reframe it that way, I'm sure that just is powerful and makes a big difference. So I'm thankful for, I love, and I'm going to do more of the professional thankfulness, I guess. Sure. But just, I love that we've had this, the partnership between, Printing United and ASI. I think it's been such a powerful, coming together of two kind of powerhouse brands. I keep saying power, but, I really love how it's been coming together and evolving, and, we're introducing stuff to, your members and vice versa. And I think that there's still so much more that can happen with it, but so far it's been great. I've loved getting to know the editors at Printing United, and it was really fun seeing some of them who I've kind of corresponded with over email, but actually getting to meet them in person at the show. I was like, hey, these people are all really cool. I'm so glad that we can kind of come together in a collaborative way. We're not really competitors anymore. So I'm very thankful that we've been able to form this partnership, form these relationships, build them. And I'm just excited to see how that changes and grows.
Likewise, what a neat opportunity we've been given. Truly. Yeah. Your team is so much fun to work with. When we all saw each other this year at Expo, we all gave each other hugs. It was like we were old friends. Really
Yeah. All right. And now the other part of this is if you could eat only one dish from a traditional Thanksgiving feast all year long, what would it be?
All right, haters, get ready to slay me. Green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole.
I freaking love green bean casserole. Oh, I could eat it all year long. I just love it so much.
Oh my gosh. I have two choices. My favorite is cranberry sauce, but it has to be like homemade. Yes. My husband makes one with, I think it's like bourbon in it, and it's amazing. We also do one, sometimes we'll make like two. So he'll make the one with the bourbon, and then we sometimes make one that has pineapple in it, and that was really good too.
Yum.
So I love cranberry sauce. And then the other thing, I really love sweet potatoes. So clearly I have a thing for sweet. I have a sweet tooth. And I like it. I mean, I like it with the marshmallows on top. But I make one that has peaches and cashews in it and like brown sugar. And that's really good.
A little bit of a crunch. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I used to be not very into like Thanksgiving food, but now that I've kind of discovered like a little bit more interesting versions of the traditional sides, I'm more into it. So we'd love to hear what everybody else's favorite Thanksgiving dishes are, what they're thankful for this year. So, send us an email, comment on our posts. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your month.
Yeah, looking forward to next month, Teresa.